Greetings, programs. This is Wretch, and welcome back to Verne, the Shape of Fantasy. And in the last episode, guys, we watched as Jules narrowly escaped the nation as it was attacking Nemo's mysterious island base. And now we are in a bit of a flashback. We're at the bottom of the ocean in our diving gear, along with Nemo, and exploring these strange ruins, and Verne just got locked behind this giant door. Apparently he's going to have to pass some trials in order to get out. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here.
I found a new inscription. To open the forge of Hephaestus, you must fire up its 4 flames. It must allude to the 4 doors in front of me.
Forge of Hephaestus. Mr. Verne, we are on the right path. Go on.
As you can see, Nemo seems to be a little bit more cheery.
I feel heavy in this wetsuit, and it begins to be hard to breathe.
You are making a great effort in your first underwater walk. Did I tell you when I faced the Kraken?
Don't patronize me. It makes me sick.
Different symbols. So we had a maze, we have a starburst. We got another mosaic. And door number 1. Solve the 4 challenges. Will do. Just want to see what the other doors are. Got a Hydra. And Infinity. No pressure or anything. Something down here on the ground. Aha! Primordials had a distinctive feature. They were always born as pairs of twins, and their powers were 2 sides of the same coin. Aid in love, war and peace, sleep and wakefulness, etc. The case of Pleseia and Phobos is paradigmatic. She inspired creative imagination, and he, destructive imagination. Very few primordials survived the end of Atlantis, and were forced to live among us. Their presence did not go unnoticed. Greek mythology baptized them as muses, since, thanks to them, for centuries, thousands of artists, doctors, and scientists got the necessary inspiration to carry out their works and inventions. Good and bad. Alright. We gotta see what kind of puzzles. Well, the interesting thing is if you look above, the window seems a different design. Well, no, those seem to be the same. Pretty. I kind of did mosaic work for a little bit, like small mosaics, like craft projects. Those are a lot of fun. They're frustrating, though, if they don't start working out the way you want them to. Yeah, 2 butterflies on this side and 2 squiggles on the other.
I enter the first door.
Got dinosaur bones up above.
What did you see inside?
Wonderful things.
Great description.
A volcano on an island. Hephaestus's place, I guess. It reminds me of Prometheus's tale. The one who stole fire from the gods to favor mankind. Nevertheless, here is Pleseia, the one that steals the flame.
This is Pleseia's myth. We don't know for sure what Atlanteans believe in, but the descriptions that have made it to us associate the flame of Hephaestus with Pleseia's ability of arousing imagination, being that the origin of Atlanteans' great power.
Arouse imagination? You mean like muses do?
Exactly.
Oh no, summon something with phalanges down below. It's not ideal.
A labyrinth. I must rotate it to link the lines with the flame.
Okay. Select fragment. Ah. So it actually did show us something. That was the way out. That is too cool. Okay. Oh, they move each other. Great. So this moves the ones in the middle. This one moves by itself. This moves the top ones. So...
Yes!
Got it.
The first trial is completed. A liquid has appeared on the walls. It looks like the Nautilus's blue blood.
What I'd give to see what you are seeing. Make haste. Oxygen is not endless.
Your paternalism will suit me quite well now. Tell me about the Kraken.
I made it up. Krakens aren't real.
Thanks, Nemo. Appreciate you. Powered up that one. Next.
From what I see and understand from these inscriptions, Pleseia ventured inside the forge of Hephaestus and managed to get his great flame. With its power, she expected to free mankind, providing them with the gift of imagination.
And then Figment the Dragon appeared and ruined everything.
I'll have all the algae for Cedric.
Cedric Collingwood, medical officer. Cedric's youthful appearance can be deceiving, as he is a military doctor with a lot of experience in the British Empire Army. He belongs to the fourth generation of a family of doctors. His role during the European campaigns of the war against the nation earned him several medals and a special commendation from the Queen. However, his patriotism and pride in his army changed radically when he was deployed on the front lines of the Indian colonies. There, in the middle of the jungle, he saw with his own eyes that his beloved British army was as savage as the nation was. His attempts to help the local population and his repeated insubordinations led to his dismissal without honor. After that, disowned by family and friends, spent several years in the jungle, pouring all of his efforts into saving as many as possible from the war and the plagues that ravaged the region. It was during this period of madness and violence that Cedric first met Captain Nemo. Immediately, he was captivated. Finding that his passion for science was as strong as his desire to end injustice in the world, he joined the crew of the Nautilus without thinking about it, becoming one of the captain's most important collaborators and one of the most experienced by the time Verne arrives on the submarine. However, after being expelled from the army, he had vowed not to cause any more harm. Every time the Nautilus sinks a ship, he spends several days without sleep. He knows that war against an enemy as formidable as the nation requires sacrifices, but he begins to suspect that the captain carries them out with disturbing detachment. In addition to his practice, Cedric is working on a research project that could save millions of lives on Hemera. A cure for cholera, extracted from specific algae that are only accessible through the technology of the Nautilus. He believes in Nemo and his idea of a fair world, but he's seen too much to do so blindly.
Okay, the goddess spreads out what seems to be the energy rays, like the sun. But being a woman, she's related to the moon and her creative power. Thus, the answer to this enigma must be related to the moon cycle. Each one must mark a ray extension.
I hope that means something to you.
Gee, right? So if it's a full moon... Let's see, can we increase? I must fill the rays in the correct order to prevent their... Oh, okay. Gotcha. 1, 2... That's not what I was expecting it to be. Oops. Where did I miss that? Let's see. 3, 4. Oh, yep. 5, 6, 7, 8. I just gotta keep on doing it, I imagine, right? 1, yeah. Please don't disappear and mess up what we're doing. Is all I ask. I have to do this last one. Blind. No? We're gonna behave? Lovely. If we do it, I have to do it again and, like, write down what they are on the clock. And... submit. Each ray has to be a specific... Oh! Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay, I lowered the right... Gotcha. So, half moon. Decrease the ray. 1. Decrease the ray. 2. Half moon. That's the only one. Oh no, actually both of the crescents have 3.
Yes!
Captain, what's the word for victory in Hindi?
VJ.
BJ it is. Not the folks that worked at MTV either. I'm sorry, I'm old. These lights powered on, now we need to do the others. So what's behind door number 3? This is when Phobos gets involved?
Pleseia diced with death for us, facing ruthless creatures released by Hephaestus to stop her.
Well, yeah, kind of makes sense. We got the Hydra, we got the Sphinx, we got the Minotaur.
I don't have a good feeling about this, but I can't see any other way out.
Got a golden idol or something?
The door! It's closing! Vite!
Okay. Well, I can't run. Uh-huh. Oh, I'm so dead. The amount of dead that I am is kind of insane. Easy.
By a whisker.
Don't give up now.
VJ. VJ. VJ.
V'ger. V'ger.
After receiving the flame, mankind began to benefit from the power of imagination almost immediately. The jealous gods realized that it couldn't be taken back from them. So, to shift the balance back in their favor, they resolved to release fear to weaken them, strengthening the horrors that already dwelled amongst the human race. It must allude to Phobos, Pleseia's brother. Creative and destructive imagination, hope and fear. The last mural depicts a huge flame devouring a city.
To tell you the truth, considering other things that the Greek gods have done in retribution, that's not as bad as it could be. Phobos, the dark side of imagination. So he's a Gorgon? Look at that snake hair. Phobos is Pleseia's twin. As happened with most Atlantean primordial twin couples, he was her negative version. If Pleseia's presence stimulated creativity in humans, Phobos' excited fear and destructive imagination. At the beginning in Atlantis, both siblings lived in balance. Creativity is necessary, but so is fear, since it drives us away from dangers. Nevertheless, when Atlanteans began to fret about supposed alien invasions that wanted to steal the flame of Hephaestus from them, Phobos began to acquire an unimaginable power. Atlantis transformed from being a center of cultural and knowledge exchange to an impregnable castle due to Phobos' influence. Even his sister was subdued by him and was forced to inspire the creation of new weapons to defend their culture from the barbarians. Fear became horror and tyranny, and, in the last term, Phobos' influence on the Atlanteans were responsible for the destruction of their civilization, since it blinded them through fear and forced them to spill all their resources to protect themselves instead of continuing to build for the greater good. Like his sister, Phobos was away from Atlantis when the explosion of the flame of Hephaestus took place. They and other primordials became orphans all of a sudden, pushed to sort their lives without a home to return to. As time went by, primordials and their influence on mankind was identified with the Muses. Although we think of them as auspicious creatures, dreadful Phobos was also one of them. Throughout history, Phobos inspired the worst horrors that humans have ever witnessed. Invasions, genocides, revenges. Now his influence models the destiny of the human race, while his sister Pleseia remains hidden and weak under his unstoppable march. And I do like the fact that imagination and fear need to counterbalance each other, because it's kind of like what Malcolm says in Jurassic Park. Your scientists spent so much time wondering if they could, they didn't stop to think whether they should. You need that fear.
Now, I see a mural of a great snake biting its own tail. It seems I have to decode some symbols.
The tail-biting snake is an Ouroboros. It symbolizes the cyclical nature of the world, the eternal return, the wheel of creation and destruction in which mankind lives.
Time is a flat circle. Alright, so... north? And then southeast. Not exactly sure how this is gonna work, but west. Yo. Not how that works. Southeast. Oh, and there's nothing northwest. Gotcha, so we need to turn it. So we've got symbols everywhere, maybe? Let's see if that works. This works too. See if we gotta find the... Just gotta find the right one.
Yes!
Gotcha. Hello, Pleseia. Oh, with the butterfly wings in the back. As Nemo saunters on in. Pleseia, goddess of imagination. Actually, she's not a goddess. She's primordial. This is how the Atlanteans knew those among them who, affected by a mutation, influenced emotions and ideas. Pleseia's presence inflamed the curiosity and creativity of those around her. In the golden age of Atlantis, her influence reached almost the entire planet. The spectacular Atlantean technological development would not have taken place had it not been for her. In those years of splendor, Pleseia lived as like a celebrity. Like the other primordials, the most prominent Atlantean personalities of her time longed to have her as an advisor, and ordinary citizens worshipped her as a goddess. Her public appearances were always highly celebrated. She received all kinds of gifts, which she always donated to the most disadvantaged among the Atlanteans. When the cataclysm that devastated Atlantis took place, very few primordials survived. Pleseia and her twin brother Phobos were two of the lucky ones. They were both outside Atlantis when it happened. After that, Pleseia spent years in deep sadness. She had lost her home, cradle of her civilization, and hundreds of years of knowledge and technology. Completely disheartened and orphaned, she wandered the world until she reached Mesopotamia. The trail disappeared. Centuries later, in pre-Hellenic times, her cult momentarily resurfaced, probably created by the few descendants of the ancient Atlanteans. The primitive worshippers of Pleseia associated her with the power of imagination, therefore, fight against fear. It is in this period that she is represented with a butterfly, as a metaphor of creative thinking, which takes a small idea, a worm, transform it into something better, butterfly. With the establishment of the classical Greek pantheon, the cult of Pleseia became archaic and primitive, eventually disappeared. However, Pleseia herself, with her powers weakened, continued to wander Hermea in search, albeit with little hope, of those few humans who were willing to make the world a better place. Need to get back, otherwise Nemo's gonna start tampering with stuff. I wonder when Phobos is going to make an appearance, or is that the creature that we're seeing in the dreams on the bridge? Oh, the doors.
It's not the time to go back. I still have things to do here.
Correct.
Captain, you must see this. In this signaled place rests the flame of Hephaestus, power, and also the curse of Atlantis. Only those blessed with the compass of destiny will be able to navigate the horrible dangers that surround the island of the ancestors, last guardians of the divine flame.
The compass of destiny? Of course. An X on the map was way too easy. It seems that the journey will be prolonged more than I planned, but you have made a wonderful discovery. Can I count you in for the remaining voyage?
Nemo, from what I've just seen, it's just the beginning of it. You can count me in. I want to see the rest.
Fantastic. Come on, adventure waits for us.
What could go wrong?
Legends about the Ancestors' Island spoke of an area filled with magnetic disturbances and violent currents surrounding it, making it unreachable to those who weren't guided by the compass of destiny. For months, we sailed the 7 seas, looking for clues about that fantastic artifact.
Bum, ba, bum, bum.
The first solid sign was found at the nameless city, buried under the sands of Arabia. Thanks to it, we could reach a manifesto, written in the year 246 before our era, with the name of the ships that had engaged trade with the ancestors and therefore carried the compass of destiny on board. Those months of exploration were the most fascinating times I've had the luck to experience so far. How everything has changed since then.
That seemed pretty whimsical until Kraken, Chapter 5 completed. Chapter 6, A Slippery Truth.
I must stop Nemo, whatever it takes. Maybe I can win some time by sabotaging the Nautilus. It's already ruined. Nobody will be suspicious of me. I hope.
Ooh, that has escalated quickly. Play some nice tunes here. Think about what we're about to do.
The best approach is going for the most damaged system. If I find Maddie, maybe I can get a clue. She knows everything going on inside this prison.
It's sabotage! Find Maddie. Well, we got Verne's... Okay, Verne's cabin. Kind of want to check... Can I check the lab now? Explore the rest of the Nautilus. Yeah. Ooh.
The Hall of Horrors, and I helped create it.
You just pressing buttons now? May as well drain some energy while we're here. May have to go back to that. Library and cabins. We've already seen the safe room with the workshop, doctors. Don't remember going to the diving room. Let's just go ahead and check the bunks. Oh. Thought something popped up. See if there's anyone that we can say hello to. No. Maybe Maddie has orders here. Nautilus 2. There's a very powerful age... Hold on. Do I have Nautilus 1? Ah, this is where we get them. There's a powerful agent. Obedient, rapid. Actually, I want to wait until we get Nautilus 1 before we get those. Nautilus' soul. Find the other 2 documents. And we can certainly do that. Maddie's probably on the other side of the ship. Just seems viable. Mess hall? Oh wow, we've got a bar. And people to talk to. Do I want to keep on exploring? Actually, I'll tell you what, guys, this is a perfect place to go ahead and call it an episode. We get back, we'll see if we can find those other documents about the Nautilus and see what we can do about sabotaging her. See where it goes from there. Hope you all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. I will see you next time. Later days, everyone.